Coinbase continues to have tremendous upside as an investment if you are bullish on the blockchain, cryptocurrency, and all of the utility that can be built there. So I want to get into some of the changes that have actually happened in the last few months and how Coinbase is coming out, because I think the company is much better positioned than a lot of investors think. And that's the reason that the stock is up so much over the past year. This is one of the holdings that I have in the asymmetric portfolio, and it's actually the best performing stock in that portfolio. So I want to cover a few reasons that I'm still bullish on this company and why I think it's very early for Coinbase. My name is Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content. And thanks to this video's sponsor, The Motley Fool. Check out fool.com/ASYM for their top 10 stocks to buy right now. I want to start with a little bit of blockchain information to kind of give some background on why Coinbase is in a much better position today than it was previously. Here's a look at data from CoinMarketCap, and there's two things that I want you to keep an eye on here. One is the price of Bitcoin. You can see that that has been rising sharply over the past year, but also volume. Coinbase, at the end of the day, makes its money when people trade crypto assets. So it's going to take a fee for each of those trades. And you can see that volume here was between $10 and $15 billion per day in January. That is up to $30 or $40 billion per day in just the last few days. That's the market overall. Now I'm going to get to Coinbase's position in that market in just a second. But let's look at a couple of other tokens, because Bitcoin has always been one of the highest traded. If we go to Ethereum, and again, this is a 1-year chart, you have $2, $3, $4 billion in volume in January and December. That is now up to 10 to $15 billion per day. So a huge increase in the volume of transactions. And then also the value has almost doubled over the past year as well. The final one that I'll look at is Solana. And I think this really shows the change in some of the altcoins or smaller tokens. You can see that the volume in late December was a few $100 million per day. Now we're looking at the value of Solana is up really sharply, and volume is close to $3 billion per day, depending on the day. So volume is up across the board, across the industry, and particularly in some of these smaller tokens. And Coinbase is starting to list more of those tokens. But the other piece to think about with this is what Coinbase's market share is. This is data from CoinMarketCap about where trading volume is taking place. You'll notice a couple of things here. If you looked at this chart a year and a half ago, FTX would be the second highest used exchange. Obviously, FTX is bankrupt, is not operating anymore. So that has taken a big competitor out of the market. Binance recently settled with the Department of Justice for $4 billion. They continue to maintain very high trading volume, about $20 billion per day, which if you go back a year and a half, that's about where they were at that point too. Coinbase has actually solidified itself in this number 2 spot. And there's a number of other exchanges that have gone up and down over time, but Coinbase is now doing over $3 billion in transactions and volume on a pretty average day. And this had fallen to under $2 billion, sometimes close to $1 billion per day a year or so ago. So we're starting to see some of that volume return at Coinbase. That should increase that trading revenue that they're generating. That's what really fell off after the market collapsed. So that's a really big reason to be bullish on Coinbase. They've gotten into things like futures. They've expanded into more markets. This core trading business is really something that I think is going to recover not only in the fourth quarter of 2023, but then into 2024 as well. But there's more to it than that. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. If you look at Coinbase's results over the last year, you can see this transaction revenue. This is the trading piece of the business. This has been declining all year. But what has made up for that, more than made up for that, is total subscription and services revenue. There's a bunch of pieces to this, but the biggest piece is stablecoin revenue. And this is primarily their partnership with Circle. They were a 50% owner of the Center Consortium, which ran the USDC token. That changed in August when Coinbase allowed Circle to be the sole company running that USDC token. And then Coinbase actually generates revenue as part of that and took an ownership stake in Circle. So if Circle ever does decide to go public, which has been rumored for quite a while, Coinbase could be a beneficiary of that. But you can see that that revenue from the stablecoins has really sharply increased as interest rates increased. So that's the reason for that, is that the USDC token has reserves that are invested in things like treasuries, and they're generating revenue. So this piece of the business gone from $210.5 million in revenue a year ago to $334 million in the most recent quarter. That's why you see revenue up. But there's a lot of other pieces to this: blockchain rewards, custodial fees. The Coinbase is a custodian for a lot of institutions. So if we see more ETFs, that this will likely increase. And then other subscriptions and services. Coinbase is doing things like building wallets as a service, building cloud infrastructure. It has the base blockchain, which is growing. And that's not a significant piece of revenue yet, but management said in the most recent conference call that as that grows, if activity grows in the base blockchain, that could be a bigger piece of their revenue. So there's a lot of reasons to be bullish in this subscription and services revenue piece. And if you add to that the market share gains and increased trading volume in the trading piece of the business, this could be a very profitable business in late 2023 and early 2024. And that's on top of Coinbase's massive balance sheet, which has $5.5 billion worth of total USD reserves and cash, which is generating interest and more income from just having a solid balance sheet. So a lot of reasons to be bullish on Coinbase. And this is really still early phases in the adoption of Web3 crypto and then this blockchain technology that Coinbase is building. Now, Coinbase stock is no longer cheap. I think it was for a period of time, given that strong balance sheet and when the market cap was much lower than it is. But right now, as I'm recording, Coinbase's market cap $33.5 billion. Enterprise value to sales is 10 times. And obviously the PE ratio is negative because over the past year, Coinbase has not recorded earnings. But I think we're still in very early phases of the development of blockchain. You have companies like Visa, Mercado Libre, Shopify, all looking at how can we integrate the blockchain and cryptocurrency into our ecosystem? How can we use it to make payment settlements faster? How can we use it to build loyalty programs? There's a lot of efficiency that comes with the blockchain if you do it right, if you build in the right place. That's why Coinbase has built Base. It's going to be very integrated with their wallets, which could just be integrated in the background in a lot of these applications. In the future, you may not even realize that you're interacting with the blockchain because it's the rails, it's money going from point A to point B, where the blockchain is going to be ultimately really valuable. So given all that optionality, I think there's a lot of growth potential for Coinbase over the next 10, 20 years. And that's ultimately what I'm really excited about. I think we're starting to see some of those green shoots really start to show. The USDC token has a lot of momentum, and the trading volume. This is, I think, very different trading volume now than we had in late 2021 when there was a lot of crazy money and low interest rates coming into the market. This seems a little bit more sustainable because investors are coming in with a little bit more eyes wide open, and mostly those high quality assets are the ones increasing in value, not as much those low quality assets. So that's my look at Coinbase. Still a stock I'm bullish on. But what do you think about the future of Coinbase? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.